rocks in the brush. Try every bait till you find the right one. Make that cast, take the slack, set the hook, it's such a blast. She gives you hell, and if you fight her well, you got fuzzy thong when the day is done. You feel that little thump, you throw the rod tip high. She shakes her head as she runs. You turn her around and keep the pressure on. Make that cast, take the slack, set the hook, it's such a blast. She gives you hell, and if you fight her well, you got fuzzy thong when the day is done.
Okay, so I took my drive apart to service it and used the spanner wrench to take the hubs out, had to take the pedals off, and then the instructions say to put the pedals back on and torque these down to 27 pounds of pressure. Well, as you can see, or 21 inch-pounds or foot-pounds or whatever, I took these back out this year when I did it. The threads are all stripped. And so I contacted Big Adventures. I ordered 2 new crank arm screws, but the other issue was this is also stripped out. So what they recommend that I do is get a tap and ream the threads and see if that works. So we're going to try that here and see if it's a fix for this. If you ever have this problem, we'll see if this is a fix. And I'll put the size. It is an 8, I believe is what it is, an 8 by 1 millimeter tap. So the big thing is just getting it started in the threads correctly. Okay, that's started. I'm going to go ahead in the open race area, shoot a little WD-40 in there. Hold on to the prop to keep it from turning. Oh. The other option, if this does not work, is to order a new spindle. The other thing I'm going to do is when I put the pedals back on, I'm going to take a rubber mallet, because they're tapered, and not use the screw to drive the pedal arm onto the drive. I'm actually going to thump that thing with a rubber mallet. So I took it all the way in. I'm going to take it out, spray it out. So there is quite a bit of funk on there. Flush that out a little bit. I'm going to run it one more time. Basically, you just want to make sure that you get it started square. And this is spinning in really easy. I want to clean this back out and make sure that I've got it good, the race good and clean before I put the new screws in. And I'm going to take it all the way in, hold on to the prop down here to keep the pedals from turning. There, that just bottomed out. So now I'm going to go ahead and turn it back out. I was not sure this was going to work. I'm glad that it is. Now, I'm not sure how well you guys can see this, but there is a little bit of thread material in there. What I did last night was I did reshape the one screw, the one screw that was the better of the two, and it starts and runs in there very easily. I mean, that's the way it's supposed to run into the spindle itself. And when I reassemble this, I think I mentioned this earlier, when I reassemble this, I'm going to put these the pedal arms or the crank arms on here, and I'm going to give them a wrap with the rubber mallet because they're tapered, and I'm not going to use the threads of the screws to pull these on, and then I'll go ahead and torque them to 25 foot-pounds or inch-pounds or whatever it is. I'm going to take them down so that they're tight, and if they squeak, I'll tighten them a little bit more. But what I want to do is I just want to avoid, and I should have known last spring when I was putting these things on there and it was going on so hard that it was possibly damaging the thread. So that's my fault. But I'm, live and learn. I'm going to do it a little different. So I don't know if you guys can see. There's just a little bit from that one. I'm going to take this and run it in there, just to make sure that one's nice and smooth as well. When I went to start them to put the pedals back on, it was hard to even get it started. So I knew. And then down here, right in front of the point here, I don't know if you can see the metal shavings when I rinsed this out earlier. The metal shavings that came out. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead now. I'm going to get this set up to. I think I'm going to lay this down. I'm going to put the arm on this side, lay it down, and then I'll get the thread started. So see that back in here, I don't know if you can see how far that is, but that should go up against that notch. It's tapered. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and lay this down so that it's laying on the bench. I'm not going to be able to do this on the other side because the pedal's going to be in the way, but I'm going to try, and then I'm going to hit it here. And then I'm going to see, and that took it all the way down. That took that space it took it all the way down. It's seated in place now. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of the new screws. And this is a number 8 metric screw. And I'm going to run this in. Okay, now that's tight up against the thread. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull this down. And I'm not going to go any tighter than that for right now. I'm just going to now that I've pushed it on there, I'm not going to try to really crank down on it because I don't want those threads being affected. And then when I go to use this and I go to pedal it, if I'm experiencing any squeaking sound, that typically means that these are not seated properly. I'm hoping by knocking them on there with a hammer that alleviates that pressure. And I just want that to be able to hold that in place, so when I service my drive, I'm not having to replace the screws and tap new threads every single time. So let's see if I can do this here. I'm just going to lay this down. I'm going to lay it on the other crank arm here. And this is going to go on opposite. And obviously, if you don't have a rubber hammer, you could put like a block of wood or something like that. Now that one did not seat down as far as the other one did. I'm going to give it a couple more whacks here. Still, it did not seat down on the back here as far as the other one did. That may be by design. I don't know, but I gave it a pretty good whack. So we'll go ahead and tighten this one down. Okay. Now I'm just going to make this so I'm giving it enough of a turn, and see what that does. I'll just leave you with this. The reason I did this the way that I did it this time of year, it's just early February here in Iowa, which, with the cold weather we've had here previously, there's still a lot of ice out there. I'm not going to be getting out and going, pedaling around, but last year, by the first weekend in March, I was out on the water, and I didn't want to wait to service my drive and get the parts that I needed until that happened. I didn't want to wait until it was time to get on the water and then be like, oh, I got to get this done. Got kind of the itch, and I'm glad I did service it when I did, and called them when I did, and got the parts when I did, because it's running well now. It's well lubed, it's serviced, and ready to go. So hopefully this helps you guys, and look forward to seeing you on the water. Leave like or subscribe. Leave some information in the comments if you have any comments, or if this has ever happened before to you, how you remedied it. That would be helpful to anyone that has one of these. It's a great drive. So we'll see ya.
Don't you yak at the ramp. Set your sights on the largest bag. Find the stumps and the rocks and the brush. Try every bait till you find the right one.